Good evening, and thanks for joining us again for another episode of What's Your Story? Tonight we are sitting down with Kristen Woodman, Townie, girl about town. What else are you known for?
Well, my friend calls herself the Queen of Cape Porpoise, but I'm her assistant. So.
So are you the princess?
No, never a princess. I don't believe in those. No, definitely not.
So Kristen, thank you for joining us on our set tonight. We want to know where you got started. Were you born right here in town?
I was born in Saco at the Osteopathic Hospital.
Oh.
Maybe you were born there too?
My grandfather was the doctor at the Osteopathic Hospital. So you might have been delivered by him.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom loved that hospital.
Yeah.
And
Dr. Sheehan was his name.
I'll have to look and see. Wow.
But that was his hospital.
Oh, neat.
So that's kind of cool. I've never met anybody that's been...
Yeah, I think we all may have been born there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's really
all
cool.
6 of us.
Huh. Well, we'll have to chat with your mom.
Yeah.
So you were born there, but
Yep.
You grew up here.
In Cape Porpoise.
Cape Porpoise,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. And we had, it was perfect for me because we had, it was on Fisher's Lane.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the street was the harbor. And at the other end of the street was the back cove. So if it was low tide, we could walk out to the islands. And yeah, we had a fish market in the backyard. My mom had a hair parlor or a beauty, I don't know what you call it. It was called the Beauty Bay.
The Beauty Bay.
The Beauty Bay. So all the little old ladies in town would go and have their hair done. So there was a lot going on a little piece of land in Cape Porpoise.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So how many years did she do that?
She did it for a long time. She went to school to learn how to do that because it was something she figured she could do kind of when the kids were little.
Yep.
They could, and I think she did it for maybe about 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And your last name was Preble.
Yes.
So is that Preble Fish?
Yes.
Is that what we know?
Yes, that was my dad, and he started that. He grew up in town, and he worked at Shackford and Gooch, which was the fish market where the Clam Shack is now.
Right. I have a cat's meow from there.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, he worked there, and he worked on fishing boats, but he saw that nobody was peddling fish inland. Mm-hmm. So he bought a truck, and he put a cutting board on the back of the tailgate.
Yep.
And he would go door to door inland. I know he went as far as UNH until the fish was gone, and then he'd drive home and do the next thing the following day.
Oh, wow.
And the business just got bigger and bigger, so eventually he did wholesale and retail.
Yeah.
But he loved it.
Did you and your siblings work there?
My brother Dwayne worked there always.
Okay.
And he took over after my dad died.
Yeah.
And then I worked just a couple days, but 2 of my sisters worked there a lot too. But I always liked working at Noonan's Lobster Hut. It was more fun. Oh. I could work at night and have the day off and go to the beach and play. So that's what I chose that. Yes.
So did you go to consolidated school?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And back then it was kindergarten to 8th grade.
Yeah.
So it was a big deal to go to the high school.
Yeah. Did you have Mr. Hoff?
Was he one of your teachers? I did not. I never had him. I had
Mr. Biot?
I never had him.
No?
I had Mr. McClelland for music, as everyone did. But yeah, I skipped over some of those teachers that were favorites of others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the way through the high school.
Yep.
And did you go off to school anywhere?
I went to UNH.
You did, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I loved that. That was fun.
Yeah.
And I could still drive home and work at Noonan's.
Okay.
And then, And then after that, I really didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to wear nylons. I just had to avoid that at all costs. So I never have gotten a real job. I
don't like it either.
Yeah. I just was like, it's not for me. So I just put it off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And how did you meet your husband?
So a friend of mine worked at the Landing restaurant with Dave Corcoran, who was a boat builder and had gone to the Landing Boat School, and he introduced me to my husband.
Oh, cool.
And we are all friends, and I had worked on a boat in the Caribbean, and he needed somebody to help him on his boat.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you want to work on my boat sometime?
That's a line.
Yeah. So I did work on his boat. I don't think he paid me, but that's okay. It was fun to go sailing because really I didn't know anybody that sailed around here. In Cape Porpoise, when we were kids, nobody sailed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it was really fun. So,
yeah.
And that's how,
That is really neat.
Yeah.
So, and you now
Yeah.
have a big sailing job. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, so when I met him, he had a smaller schooner, and it was still pretty much, it becomes a lifestyle because it takes all your time, and when you're not sailing with people, there's work to do, and so now we have a little bigger schooner that he built. We can take 17 people, but I spend a lot of time corresponding with people, making reservations, and in the off season helping painting and scraping and running errands, and so it's good, and it's been really nice. Our kids have been able to grow up around a lot of adults that they don't know, so they're both comfortable in different situations, and it's nice meeting all the people that we meet too. It's a fun way to get to know people. We just had somebody come sail with us last week, and she had come sailing with us when she was pregnant with her son, who's now 32.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of fun.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any proposals on your?
Oh, yes.
And do you know about them ahead of time, or?
Sometimes sometimes we know ahead, and a couple times we haven't. But we've had proposals, and we've had a few weddings.
Yeah. Any movie stars?
No movie stars that I can.
Well, you'll
think
be
of.
on there now, so.
Oh yeah, I'll be on there now. Yes. No movie stars, but a lot of really nice people. And we had one guy that wanted to go swimming out at sea. He was trying to decide about a big love interest. He had this big thing out there. He was from South Africa. That was a memorable one.
Oh, okay.
But it's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
So what happens if you get a group of people out there and there's somebody that's
sick?
Yeah.
So
that's tough.
Yeah. So you have to always gauge it too, because it's you. Some people you can't tell. Other people, they kind of start yawning, and they just look like they're gonna. So we just try to catch them before it's too late. Some people make the mistake of going down below.
Right. Which
That's
is
really bad.
Yeah.
But we try to help them out with it, and just.
Yeah.
Some people are so embarrassed by it. Don't be embarrassed. We've all been seasick.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we try not to take people out. We cancel a lot.
Well, yeah, because of the weather.
If it's not going to be pleasant, forget it. It's not worth it.
It isn't worth it for everybody.
Yeah. And some people are like, "What do you mean? We're avid sailors." Like, great. We don't want to go. It's not going to be nice.
Do you get people involved with, or do you let them just kind of sit back and enjoy?
So if we have people that want to help pull up the sails or take the wheel, and it's a perfect day for it, great. Like if you have teenagers that are excited, or and then sometimes you get a really cute little guy that wants to take the wheel, and that's fun. Yeah.
So growing up around here, you've now you raised your family here. Big changes over the few decades.
Oh yeah.
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 So places that, like your mom's beauty parlor.
Oh yeah.
Like things like that you remember that you wish were still here, or.
Oh geez. Yeah, I know there's a lot. Like just in Cape Porpoise alone, the fact that there were at the Cape Porpoise Pier. When I was a kid, we would go down there, and there was a little stand. You'd get in line, and you could get an ice cream cone. It's such a simple thing.
Right.
But you can't do that anymore.
Right.
And all over, just little things like that. And buildings that have been torn down, that are now big and fancy. That's really hard for me. And the house I grew up in is gone. It was a Sears and Roebuck bungalow. But there was really nothing wrong with it. I'm sure it was fine, but they leveled it and put something bigger, and that's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah. But that's happening everywhere, right?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I drive by the house that I grew up in every day. It's on my way to work, and the house is, the house is there. But they did something terrible with the lawn, and I'm like, ah. So
Yeah.
I guess tearing down a house is a bigger deal than a lawn, but
Yeah.
it's like your home.
I know. I know. It is, yeah. And the memories of it. And I don't know about you, but if I have a dream, I'm almost always back there.
Right.
In a dream.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me
it's
too.
funny.
Did you ever work at Allison's? Seems like lot of...
I never worked at Allison's,
Okay.
but I know a lot of people that have worked at Allison's, and they all have always said it's a great place to work.
Yeah.
I worked at the Cape Arundel Inn for a little bit.
Okay.
When Pat Pickering ran it, and she had been my phys ed teacher at Consolidated, and
Okay.
she was really shorthanded one fall, and she called, and I said, okay, so I worked on the boat sailing. No, I'd work breakfast at the Cape Arundel, then I'd go sailing all day, and then I'd go to Noonan's. So I had many hats that summer.
Wow.
It was fun though.
Good for you.
And I worked at Goose Rock's Pottery for a long time for the Lipkins.
Yeah.
That was a great.
Yeah.
She's actually the one that kind of taught me about the library, because I grew up going to Cape Porpoise Library because we just went everywhere we could walk.
Right.
And Lou used to come to the library and get all kinds of books for gardening books or whatever books. She'd get like a stack of them.
Yeah.
If we had to do tiles for somebody's kitchen
Right.
with certain birds, she'd come and get books. So I started.
remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So-
It was when I was working upstairs, but that's how I met her. She
Yeah.
would come in looking for...
Specific things.
Yes.
Yeah. And I loved working with Lou. It was so fun.
Yeah. So she kind of introduced you to this place, or...
She really did.
Yeah.
I mean, I always knew it was here.
Yep.
But she made it look really interesting and fun. So I thought, I'm just going to go check that out. And then I started coming.
Yeah.
And then I realized if I took a book out of the library, I would actually read it more than a book at home because I had to return it.
Yes.
The pressure was good. And then,
And the fines were low.
yes.
Just in
Yes,
case.
right. But I never wanted to be late. So, and then I had kids. And then when I had kids, I was like, all right, that was our social scene.
Right.
The library and the post office.
Yeah.
That's all and the beach. It's all we needed, right?
This is true. This
Yeah.
is true. And an ice cream cone every once in a while.
Definitely. Yes.
So Goose Rock's Dairy, go there?
Oh yeah,
or...
I like Goose Rock's Dairy.
Okay.
It's good old fashioned, hard packed ice cream.
Yeah, nice.
None of this fancy like basil goat cheese stuff for me. I don't like that. Do you like it?
I want that on my cracker.
Yeah, me too. I'm not ice cream. Yeah, I don't know.
It is interesting. There's a place in Biddeford called Sweet Cream, and they
Oh, that's good.
It is good, and so they actually went to ice cream school. Now,
Wow.
library school I thought was pretty cool, but ice cream school?
Ice cream school. Yeah. My brother
Someplace
brings.
in New York, I think.
He always brings that ice cream to family events. The vanilla. It's really
Yeah,
good.
it is really good.
Yep.
Yeah, nice people. So some characters in town over the years that you remember growing up?
Oh, there's so many. Yeah. My dad was one of them. He totally was a
Okay.
character. He totally was a character. And because he worked so hard, and he was, he had a lot of energy.
Everybody knew him.
Yeah. And then at the pier, there was this guy, I think his name was Sam Wilds. He ran the pier, and he was this big guy with a big belly, but you knew he was friendly, and he had a big oak glass case with Snickers bars and Reese's, and
Wow.
go to the pier, and if I was really good, I thought maybe Dad would buy me a Reese's from Sam. And then the lady at the dump, I forgot her name, Hazel, the dump parade
Yep.
was just,
You grew up with all that stuff.
yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
really fun. Characters everywhere.
What about Prelude? So did that come along? That came along like
It,
later, right?
yeah, it did, and not much for Prelude. I don't know.
The dump parade, I was in one. That was the one where we did the celebration of the 350th.
Oh.
And we were the library frumps. So we dressed up in the frumpiest clothing that we
Perfect.
could find. Pretty much all I did was open my closet.
Yeah,
and
right,
there
pull
was my
something out.
outfit, right? Glasses, wigs, hats. And then we got a whole bunch of book trucks, and we passed out National Geographic
Oh, perfect.
along the route, and we were, shh, doing, all these things. And anyway, it was hysterical. But I think there was, we were waiting to join. We were at the corner. We were waiting to join. And one of the most somber, beautiful groups that walked through were all the fishermen from Cape Porpoise.
Oh.
They were all in their yellow.
And they were very serious about it?
All ages.
Wow.
And they were all very, very serious about it. I said, wow, this is like...
Yeah.
It almost looked like it was a funeral procession.
Right.
Because they were so, this was their job, and they, we were monkeying around. They weren't.
Right.
But this was what they did, and this was generations of...
Yeah.
So...
Wow.
That was a cool tradition. I didn't grow up here, but just,
it was,
hearing about it and
yeah,
seeing it in the news, and then being part of the 350th was
oh
pretty
yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah, no, the dump parade was really fun. What a bizarre concept, though.
Yeah.
At Noonan's, we decorated the Miss Dumpy once, and we put so many lobster shells on. She was Cindy Lobster. Gulls just want to have fun. It was great.
That's awesome.
Oh, she was a good sport.
So 2 boys.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Where are they at these days?
Oh, well, so Silas he just turned 21.
Okay.
And he goes to school in Oklahoma.
Wow.
And he's happy as can be. Mm-hmm. And Sam just graduated from Kennebunk High School, which is great. And he's working at the River Club. He's the dock master. He's worked there for a few years, and he loves his job.
Yeah.
He's there all the time. Keeps him busy. So they're both happy and good.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's so great.
And Silas has seen enough going to Oklahoma. It's funny. He's grown up enough to actually tell me things like, Mom, I'm really happy that you made me wait to get a cell phone. I'm like, oh, good. And all the time we spent outside in our backyard paid off.
Yeah.
You can really...
He must miss the water. Does he miss the water?
I don't think he has time to. And he does find little rivers and things.
Okay.
But yes, by the end of the year, he's ready to come home and take a ride around the beach, that's for sure.
Yeah. Do they love sailing as much as you and your husband, or?
Boating, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we here at the Graves Library have been very proud to watch your family, grow and readers and researchers, and they both, and that's that's from you.
Oh,
so,
thank you. Well,
pretty cool.
I think that the library was such a huge part of their life when they were little.
Yeah.
And Silas made an effort to tell Mom, I'm reading books again, because they get to a point where in high school they've just got too much going on. The last thing he wanted to do was, but for him to know that he's gone back to it. Yeah. And they are researchers. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Big history buffs.
Yeah.
World War II, I think.
That's Silas.
Yep.
Yeah, Sam not as much. Sam's more, he loved the Fire 47.
Oh.
When he was 5 years old, I had to read that whole book by Joyce Butler to him.
Oh my goodness.
The Fire 47.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just, you never know with kids what's gonna, but it makes sense. He was reading all those I survived the this, I survived the that books.
Yeah.
So why not read about the Fire 47, which his grandmother survived, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's funny.
And you were on our library board here for 6 years.
Yes, which went by quickly.
Which did go by. But we're so glad that you're still a friend of the library.
Oh, always. That will be a forever thing. And being on the board was great because I met a bunch of people that I wouldn't probably have met otherwise. Yeah. And it's really nice knowing them.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you were such a big help. In many ways.
Oh, it was fun.
So would you ever consider going back on our board at some point?
Maybe in a few years from now when
maybe I actually you and our producer, Mike Kelly, could come back on our board.
Maybe if I ever get myself organized.
I know.
Yeah.
So when you're not sending emails, being on the boat, painting, scraping, do all those things, do you guys do anything for fun?
Get out of town? I do, but honestly, my husband, he just loves what he does. He's like an artist that has to be in their studio. If we do go out of town, the first thing he does is he drives to his boat shop to check on things.
Okay.
So, I mean, we go cross-country skiing in the winter if it's nice.
Yeah.
He actually today is right now buying an electric bike.
Oh.
He's going to start commuting the half mile to work. But we like to explore, but we haven't really had a lot of time.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to doing some exploring and a little bit of traveling. If I get invited someplace, I usually try to make it work.
Good for you.
But I've had to say no because when you have kids and a business,
right.
Yeah, but I have all kinds of other things I like to do. Like I planted a garden, but then it gets weedy. You know how it is, right?
Not a garden.
So
no, I'm not a garden person.
We do a whole bunch of different things. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and we both love where we live, and
Yeah. You can't beat it.
you really can't.
No.
No, you really can't. For all the things that people complain about here and there, it's a beautiful place to live.
Yeah, yeah. E.B. White said the worst, what is that? The worst day in Maine is
Better than
the best day anywhere else, or something like
that.
that.
Such a good quote. You're right. It's so true.
It is so true. And I think about that, especially for this area.
Yes.
So when we start wrapping up our interview, we do a lot of rapid fire one-word answer.
Oh, all
You
right.
ready for that?
Sure.
Okay. Favorite color?
Blue.
Blue.
Bluey, greeny, you know.
Okay.
Blue, yeah.
Okay. You said a ice cream flavor, but do you have a favorite ice cream flavor?
Gosh, I love so many, but I do love, what's it called? It's the Ben and Jerry's one, that fish food.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Okay. What's in that?
Chocolate ice cream with caramel swirls with chocolate chunks and marshmallow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
It is
It's a lot going on. Yeah, it's very good.
Do you have a favorite book?
Oh, I have so many favorite books.
What's your favorite this week?
Well, honestly, I have not been reading enough lately, but
Same here.
when I think about favorite books, like The Book Thief always comes up, which was young adult.
Yeah.
And I loved that about coming to the library because when my kids were that age, I'd pull a book off and like, this is unbelievable. So I loved The Book Thief. I loved Prayer for Owen Meany is an all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Cutting for Stone. I can't remember that author's name.
Yeah.
And then
Starts with a V.
yeah, it does. Yeah, that was a really good one.
Sorry.
But I love books that, even like when I would come to the library with the kids, I'd take out an autobiography. Like you have upstairs, you have the autobiography of Bill Peet. I read that from cover to cover one morning.
I love books
this
like
is
that.
so cool. So it's hard to favorite.
Yeah, yeah. Movie? Favorite movie? Again, another tough one.
I don't know. I just watched Far Away. That was really cute. It was filmed in Croatia.
Okay.
Just a romantic comedy. Very great scenery. It was really fun, but I don't think I have a favorite.
Coolest place you've ever been?
Oh, well, when I worked on that boat in the Caribbean,
Yeah.
we went to so many islands, and it was before cruise ships
Okay.
and before cell phones
Yeah.
and before social media. So I saw a lot of beautiful places where you could just see the expanse and these anchorages with
Yeah.
one or two boats instead of a cruise ship.
Yeah. Have you
So-
ever been in a storm? Have you ever been stuck in a storm? Scared?
Yeah. Yes. I never want to go offshore.
Yeah.
No, that's not fun. I sailed from here to Antigua.
Oh, okay.
It was not. I wouldn't. Yeah, I did get scared.
Do you have a favorite restaurant? And it doesn't have to be around here.
I do think the Lost Fire in Cape Porpoise is absolutely delicious, their steak.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Honey Pot in Portland. That was really good.
Okay.
Haven't been out too much, though.
Yeah. You guys like to cook?
Oh, and the Fish and Whistle in Biddeford.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
been there?
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. It's on my list.
It's so good.
Yeah.
The Fish and Whistle. It's named after a
John Prine.
Prine song. And the haddock sandwich, or it's not haddock, I think it's
like
pollock.
a tempura, right?
Delicious.
Tempura batter or
Yeah,
something.
loved everything about that little restaurant.
Oh,
And
nice.
supposedly the soft serve is amazing.
Okay, I'll have to go check. Maybe this weekend I might go check that
Yes, check it out for sure.
out. And I think there was one other thing that I was going to ask you. I'm still trying to think of that author's name. Isn't that awful? But I know it starts with a V.
It was a good, really good book.
Rangies, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Jeepers creepers. Anyway.
It's all right. I'm impressed that you could remember that much.
No, this is horrible. I'm getting the thumbs down over there by our producer. If a family comes and gets ready to be on the schooner Eleanor, and they say, okay, we're going to do this today, we're going to have a blast, but what else could we do while we're here in Kennebunkport? What would you recommend?
Oh, well, I always tell them, I seriously always tell everyone about the used book sale here.
Oh.
Because it is amazing.
Great.
The used book sale is perfect. And tell them about the Trolley Museum if they have kids, because I love the Trolley. The Trolley Museum is so fun.
Yeah.
And when you have little kids, you can actually sit. It's really nice to sit when you have little kids.
Yeah.
And you can't beat just going for walks. There's
Yeah.
Lot Home Farm, all the trails at the Conservation Trust.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's so many different places
Lot
to
to
explore.
take in.
And just go to the beach. And,
Yeah.
you know, I have to tell people, go swimming. Oh, no, the water's cold. I'm like, you don't know how good that will feel.
It's true.
It's like hitting a reset button.
Yeah, it's true.
And
You're
don't
right.
just go into here. Like, dunk the head, and you have hit the reset button. And your mood will improve. Everything will improve. So
Good
that's what I
advi-
tell people to
good-
do.
good advice.
Whether they want it or not, I tell them.
So if I wanted to go on the schooner Eleanor, how would I go about making a reservation?
Well, you can call, or you can send us an email.
Okay.
We don't do online booking because we're kind of control freaks about who goes with who. And
Okay.
if we have an 85-year-old, we want to know that she's going to sit in the cockpit.
Yeah.
So we're not doing the online booking thing yet. We're the only boat I know that doesn't do that.
Well, that's
But,
okay. It's
yeah.
more hands-on.
Yeah, and people like to call, and
Yeah.
then we know that they've sailed with us before, and they know what to expect. So yeah, and it works out.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what's the number?
207-967-8809.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good. You passed the test.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for sitting down with us today.
You're
And,
welcome.
you know, keep up the good work and keep smiling.
Oh, thank you.
So-
You as well. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Mary Lou.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you all for being with us. Thanks to our producer, Mike Kelly. And hopefully we will see you right back here for another episode of What's Your Story?